Hello guys, and welcome to this fun video. This is a small video to talk about Inktober, and I know you've probably seen lots of different artists pop up with their videos about Inktober, but I thought it would be talk about how it does not only help you as an artist, but show the tools that I'll be using and explaining the tools that I do use as well. Inktober is a fantastic challenge month. Unfortunately, it does fall around the time where I am very busy, which it does mean I don't have as much time to play on it, which makes me kind of sad. So I try and opt to do smaller drawings instead. This just helps me to be able to participate. It means I'm able to do what I want to do every single day, and it's always fun to try out something that you wouldn't normally do. Now, Inktober is a fantastic challenge month. It was started originally by Jake Parker. Now, Jake Parker wanted a challenge month where he could practice his traditional skills. His main rules are 31 drawings, 31 days, mainly using traditional tools. Now, personally, I don't really mind whether or not you do it digital or traditional. If you're participating in a daily challenge, do a daily challenge. I know that some people would think that, oh no, it's a traditional month, you should do traditional, but as an artist who mainly does traditional work anyway, I think by having by switching it around and say if you're mainly traditional, you're doing digital line work, you're practicing and honing a skill that you wouldn't normally do, and if you're mainly a digital artist, practicing traditional skills will be really helpful for you as well. I think they both come in hand and they both help each other, but you know, I digress. That's a topic for another video. That goes far too much. But anyway, I've discussed in the past how traditional skills can really help you as an artist and why challenge months are so important. Now, Inktober this year, I will be using a mixture of different materials, and I'll be using inks almost like watercolour. It's another skill that I've looked at and I've really admired how other artists have done it, and I thought, do you know what, this Inktober, I'm going to try it. Now, I'm not doing the official Inktober list, I'm actually doing a Witchtober list, which was linked to me. There was another botanical witch list that was linked to me, but I was like, no, I've already set in stone what I'm doing. I can't do another list. And I'm keeping my drawings quite small. I'm keeping them 6x4, and I'll be showing you the tools I'm going to use for Inktober as well. I've done Inktober for the last 4 years, I want to say. Yeah, 4 years. And sometimes I've been very successful. I've finished it, I've done it all the way through, and other years, not so successful. That word did not want to come out. And I find that Inktober is a really good thing to do, but I don't want to stress myself over it. I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, oh my god, I must do this, oh my god, I must do this. Like, I'm going to take it in my stride and I'm going to do what I can. And I love doing daily challenges, I love doing monthly challenges, but sometimes taking on too much can stress yourself a little bit thin. So don't overdo it if you can't. That is okay. It's okay. You don't have to participate in every single challenge month. And don't think that every single piece has to be a masterpiece, because in all honesty, the way I'm doing it is I'm only allowed to spend an hour a day on them. No more. No more, because I will get myself down in the details. I'll be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then it will just take up like pretty much all of my day when I've got a lot more work to be doing than that. You know, I've got comic stuff to do for Comic-Con at the end of the month. I've got stickers to finish, I've got merch to finish, I've got commissions to do, I've got videos to do. Like, there's a lot on my plate, and adding extra onto that plate when the plate is already overloaded it will stretch myself too thin. And I work as well, so there's that added to the list. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm going to show you the equipment that I use, and I'm going to explain why I'm using that equipment and how I feel it benefits me in my work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're doing for Inktober as well. I'm really excited to see what everyone does. Prompt list are you following? What excites you about Inktober? What are the benefits that you think about Inktober? Let me know. I'm always interested to see what you think. Now let me show you the equipment that I'm using, and I'm really excited to show you what I've got because I love using some of this. Right, I'll see you in a bit. And okay, so welcome back to this view. This is a view that you are used to seeing, my hands and my cutting mat. Although I do think I do need a new one because this is covered in ink, but anyway, I digress. So the equipment I'm going to be using for Inktober this time around is I'm going to be using watercolour paper. In the past I have used just standard card, or I've used like little bits here and there, but because I'm going for more of a watercolour feel, I felt it was best for me to try out on watercolour paper. Now this is Winsor & Newton watercolour cold press paper. I felt I would go for cold press over hot press is because I'll be using a lot of water, especially with these inks. It makes sense for me to do this just because I know exactly that this is what I will be doing in that sort of sense. The next thing I will be using is I will be using my good old Kuretake dip pen. Now if you've seen a few of my old Inktober videos, you will recognize this tool. It's just a Kuretake cartoonist dip pen. You can change the nibs on these. They're really good. I've had mine for a good few years now, and you get interchangeable nibs of lots of different sizes. I'll show you. And I've had these for quite a while now. As you can tell, this pen is pretty much loved. I really like this for smooth lines. It will really help when it comes to beautiful smooth lines, and that is the dip pen I will be using. I'll also be using some glass dip pens. Now I used a glass dip pen a little bit last year and I really loved it. So unfortunately my last glass dip pen did break a little bit. The dip actual part of it, the nib is a little bit broken, so ink doesn't flow through properly. So I picked up 2 new ones. Now these weren't massively expensive. They're about $5 each on Amazon, so they weren't hugely expensive, but unfortunately it's a bit of an investment if you are looking at getting some of these. I got 2 because they are slightly different. Sorry. I really liked the colours, and the nibs are slightly different as well. Basically you dip this in your inkwell and the ridges keep the ink inside it, and they are really nice to use. If you do get one, I really do enjoy using these. You can't apply too much pressure on them, but the ink flows out really nice and really steady, whereas in comparison the dip pen, you can get more variation in lines. These ones you can get a nice steady line with these, and I really do like using them. Next on my list that I will be using is my paintbrushes. Now I do have a mixture of lots of different types of paintbrushes. I don't necessarily have a favourite at the moment. I'm still at my experimental stage, but I've got some Boldmere ones, I've got some Winsor & Newton foundation ones, I've got all sorts of these. So I will be using some bigger paintbrushes, some smaller ones. I have a lot of different ones, but I mainly have Boldmere and Winsor & Newton. I do have a few other brands as well. I don't really tend to look for brand names. I tend to go for what the bristles feel like more than anything. And I know I can feel people like shock and horror, but I know what I like to use, and so I go from that instead. Also as well, the most important thing is the ink. Now as I said, I'm going for a very limited palette this year, and my reason being is because in the past I have done lots of really colourful pieces. I've used lots of different types of coloured inks. I've gone for simple inks, but I really wanted to have a very autumnal, very limited palette this year, and I'm essentially going black, white and bronze, and I'm trying to see what different effects I can achieve with these. I'm using, there you are. This is liquid Indian ink. Now I've gone for non-waterproof because I want it to be like watercolours. If I wanted to use the waterproof one, I would go for the waterproof one. I've also got some drawing ink here. Now I have used these in the past in some videos, but just because sometimes I actually like to ink with these. For my white, I'm using a mixture of this artist acrylic ink, and I'm also using my Pentel white gel pen. I'll just grab one to show you. This one. I'll also be using my Pentel white gel hybrid for the little tiny areas that I can't quite get with this. This does end up being quite opaque. I have used this in videos in the past, but I really like the way this effect has in a sort of way. And of course my shiny ink I'll be using is this Liquitex Rich Copper. I used this last year for Inktober when I was doing my inverted colour challenge for Inktober, and I really like it, so I'm going to see what effects I can get with it for this year. So this is all the equipment I'll be using this year for Inktober. As I said, it's a very limited palette that I'm going for. It's a very limited sort of equipment, and this is just because I wanted to limit what I was doing. I felt it was good, would not only be good for me, but it would also be good to try out something different that I wouldn't normally do. As I said, I've gone for a Witchtober theme, so it has lots of different types of witches, and I figured that would really help not only with the work that I'm doing, but maybe come up with some future character designs for my projects. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what equipment you'll be using for Inktober, and what do you like and what do you dislike. Let me know. I always like to find out what other people use and try and apply it to my work. And last year I saw a lot of people doing watercolor with ink, and I just really wanted to try it out. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you wish to see more content. I will be showing more Inktober videos throughout the thing. I'll probably be doing them as very quick speed paints, so you can actually watch those. And that is pretty much it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!